Well guys, I finally made good with my promise and a little bit of a bimble explore around the city that we used to call home. I called it home for about 20 years. Nicola, probably about 30 odd years. Cambridge. And where a better place to start than actually outside King's College. Now, two things about this little bimble around Cambridge. Number one, we're not going to be going inside any of the colleges. All of that is money. They used to allow residents to go into some of the colleges for free. I obviously don't have any resident identification now in these parts, so it'll all be external. And number two, don't expect any historic facts about Cambridge. You know me, it's just going to be a dilly-dander around. Probably given the fact that we're in Cambridge, which is obviously very famous for bicycles, I probably should have cycled in this morning, but unfortunately I injured myself again running. So instead, let's have a little bit of a bus montage as I made my way in, and then we'll go for a little bit of an explore around Cambridge. So do you enjoy that little bus montage? And for the eagle-eyed amongst you, we went past the church that Nicola and I got married in, St Andrews. It's right beside a massive big Wetherspoons, which is why most of the guests at our wedding, or at least a couple of our guests at our wedding, you know who you are, were a little bit inebriated by the time I said I do. So we've now brought ourselves a little bit out of those crowds initially, up to an area called the Mill Pond. Now this is actually a very popular place to come of a summer's day, get a pint and sit and watch the punters. A lot of the river tours go from here. I'm pretty sure punting on the river this morning, as pleasant as it probably is, it's not raining obviously, nice and sunny, I'm sure it's blooming freezing. But this would be where we would come of a summer Saturday afternoon, sit and get a couple of cold beers and watch the Sturg. It's very busy in the summer. Actually saw Stephen Hawkins here once. The one thing you've got to be prepared for walking around Cambridge is you may get run over by a bike, especially those Deliveroo guys. But actually, now I'm not going to do it today, but heading up to my left here, there's a beautiful walk up to Grantchester, a place called Grantchester Meadows, which is about a 3-mile walk. Get yourself some tea and cake, some afternoon tea at Grantchester Meadows, worthwhile doing. Beautiful walk, get you out of the city as well. And actually I love this area here because even though you're still in the city, it feels a lot more kind of peaceful than the craziness that's actually going on in there. And again, in the summer months, these meadows would be full of people enjoying the warmer weather. So as I'm sure you're well aware, Cambridge is very popular with punting on the River Cam. Fun fact, I have never been in an official chauffeured punt. I've been on a couple of punts where you can sort of punt yourself, but never been on an official chauffeured one. I think it'd be quite expensive actually, I'm not sure what the prices are these days. Other interesting fact, little pub up there, the Anchor. There is a photograph out there somewhere in internet land where after a particularly fun party night with the guys I used to work with, I got introduced to something called mead. And let's just say mead and I don't get along these days, as you can see from this particular picture. I think that particular night was called Ding Ding, Join the Fun Bus. I think the bus actually ran me over, to be fair. And then along the backs here you also have the very popular mathematical bridge. It shows you how much Cambridge has changed as well, because when I first moved over here you could wander freely amongst a lot of these gardens around here, but a lot of it now is closed off to the public, or at least the non-paying public. But yeah, the mathematical bridge, and yeah, lots of punters around. So I just found out that even though it's obviously a paid ticket to get in to visit Keynes, Evensong, which I think happens every evening at 7:30, is actually free to enter. Now, I'm not sure whether you have to still pick up a free ticket online. Yeah, I overheard one of the tour guides saying that. So if you are coming to Cambridge and you don't fancy paying the tickets to go into Keynes, but you still want to see inside it, then pick up an Evensong ticket. Who said I wasn't going to be full of the facts today? So this part of Cambridge is known as the Backs. And as you can see, you get a pretty nice view of Keynes College. And as you can see, the River Cam runs right in front of it. And I'm not sure whether you can make out, there's a punter going by there as well. They also put on orchestra concerts and things here as well. A beautiful view, although it does look like they're doing quite a bit of work to Keynes as well. So another little fun fact about Cambridge and my time here. The bridge that we've just passed there, Trinity Bridge, actually one of my most popular prints when I used to sell prints along here. It was a stunningly frosty morning. We actually had a hoarfrost all over all of the trees. Managed to get a nice image of the bridge with a couple of the porters standing on the bridge as well. And yeah, while I don't traditionally do, trying to vlog here, while I don't traditionally do that type of landscape work these days, it's still a very nice print, and in fact a print that is also hanging as a canvas in my mum and dad's house. So it's another one of those random facts from Nigel. So back when I was a commercial shooter, commercial photographer, I was asked by a band to do some promotional shots for them. And so we came into Cambridge and did a bunch of headshots and a bunch of sort of standard stuff. But then we actually lined up against a wall, not this particular wall, I did do a couple of images here as well. But I wanted a little nod to Cambridge, so I want the kind of bikes in the image as well, and a little bit of sort of an urban gritty feel to it. So, I think the band were quite pleased with the shot as well. Commercial imagery, apart from the sports photography, wasn't something that I was really that interested in, but I quite enjoyed following the guys around Cambridgeshire, or Cambridge, and doing a couple of shots for them, including the one that I think made it onto one of their album covers. So yeah, can't remember what the band was called, mind you. Machine something, maybe. I can't remember what I did this morning, so not a bit of wonder I can't remember the name of the band from like 15 years ago. Anyway, another random, probably pointless fact from Nigel. Look at that. More fun, random, pointless facts of the day. So two very popular pubs in Cambridge, at least back whenever we were young and crazy, were the Mitre and the Baron of Beef. Now, what was quite interesting about these two pubs was the little back alleyway that they're kind of beside each other. You could quite often sort of wander between them both. And if you'd had maybe one too many, you found yourself kind of wandering into one of them, maybe the Baron of Beef, carrying a pint glass from the Mitre. And it used to really annoy the barman. Sorry about that. And then right beside it, St. Clement's Church. Now apparently, I'm not quite sure which day it was, but we went on a ghost walk around Cambridgeshire once, and the lady there was saying that in the church on a particular evening, you sit in there, and at midnight you'll see sort of ghosts coming walking towards you. And what that's supposed to tell is that's supposed to tell all of the people who have died that particular year or walking towards you, which is fair enough. However, if While you're observing all of these ghosts coming towards you, you spot yourself. Turns out you're already dead. Oof, make you want to go for a pint, that would. Well, good morning again, guys. So it's another couple of days later and I'm actually back in Cambridge, planning on heading to the library for a day's work. But I thought I would come down. It's actually a really beautiful day again today. A little bit along the River Cam, and quite often at this time of the morning you'll get all of the rowers out practicing. Can actually make for some nice atmospheric images and footage if it's a bit cold when you've got some mist on the river as well. But it's a beautiful area, and in fact where I'm standing now on Jesus Green, just over here, is where they hold the annual Cambridge Beer Festival. I believe one of the biggest in the country. Sadly last year, and indeed this year, we won't be in the UK being able to partake, which is a bit of a shame because it's always good to meet up with friends and have the odd sherbet or two. But yeah, a really beautiful morning. And it is really nice to be down by the river. And of course you've got all the river boats as well, many of which are inhabited. But I'm going to carry on wandering along the Cam back into the city. We'll see whether we can see anything else of interest. And then I guess I got to grab myself a coffee and do a little bit of work. Someone's got to pay for the cakes. Well guys, look who I found.
Hello.
And look where I found her, down around all the bins. Well, we just thought that we would round off this little tour of Cambridge. We're going to go out and do a little bit of a tiny pub crawl of some of the more traditional and interesting pubs of Cambridge. Now, not too many, hopefully.
No, definitely not.
But now she's involved, who knows. But yeah, there's me. I do all the touristic stuff by myself. And then the minute we decide to go and have a beer or two, she's like, ooh, I want to come as well.
I would like to say I've been working very hard this week, so that's why I've not been around.
She has been. So, right, well, we are going to go, and actually we're going to meet Nicola's brother and go to find a beer. So one of the first pubs that we're actually not going to have a drink in is the Eagle, because it's extremely busy. But it actually got a couple of stories behind it. So number one, which both Nicola and I did know, it was an RAF bar. And actually on the roof of the RAF bar is all the names of a lot of the squadron leaders. I'll put a link below to a lot more of an eloquent way to describe that.
And this was World War II squadrons that then went off to fight.
Yeah. So apparently there is a window, which I'm showing you here, that's never shut. Because apparently after a fire...
There was a fire and a young girl died. And then after the fire, the window was shut and there was hauntings going on. And then they opened the window and the hauntings stopped. And then when they closed the windows, this one window, it started again. So they realised that only when the window was open did the haunting stop. So now it's never closed.
And if you happen to be eating in the courtyard in the Eagle and they give you table number 7...
No, it's just inside.
Oh.
It's the table number 7 inside next to the courtyard.
Hold on to your glasses.
Apparently glasses are often seen flying off the table. Maybe it's the young girl come down from upstairs.
Spooky goings on in Cambridge.
We could tell ghost stories.
Right, on to the next pub, which we might actually find a little drink in. Right, next up on our little tour is the Pickerel Inn. And beside it, again, Simon's full of fantastic information. Apparently there's another haunted alleyway, which apparently served up opium back in the day. Now, we've also been heard this is a Green King pub, and today's the first Saturday of the Six Nations. And apparently, if you say to your barman, space for a pint, you get a free beer. Ooh, let's give it a go. Damn it, we've just been notified that this pub is not partaking in the free pints. So one of the things I missed most about on the road and when we lived in Ireland was the lack of real ale. Don't get me wrong, Ireland does some good craft beers, but you can't beat a good hand-pulled real ale. And I've just noticed as well, actually Simon noticed it, I'm not sure whether you saw it in the Eagle as well, but it was claiming to be the oldest pub in Cambridge, and now over here, the oldest licensed pub in Cambridge. So there's always a little play on words, the oldest of something. So anyway, I'm going to enjoy this beer. And then apparently, Simon's going to take me where the prostitutes hang out.
You can see her breasts on, is it the middle?
He's appeared on the vlog for the first like 5 seconds and he's already used the B word.
Yeah, these gargoyles. Now, I don't know, maybe that's a man holding something. Maybe...
Way to lower the tone on the vlog, Simon.
There we go, there's a woman, the middle one. It's a bit dark.
Oh, and watch out, you'll get run over by all the bikes as well. Thinnest street in Cambridge as well. So, but yeah, apparently this is where the ladies of the night hung out. And if you remember from my Belfast vlog, I also took you around where all the ladies of the night hung around there. Oh, here comes the noise. Yeah, so now we'll give you some actual information. So this was a house of ill repute. This is where the ladies of the night hung out, apparently.
I just realised.
So this is where the ladies of the night hung out, yeah?
I just realised where I was standing.
Yeah. People just appear from random little entrances. They're coming from the brothel. We should probably come up with Simon more often because he's bringing us places that we've never been before. Apparently this is the debating chambers or something, yeah?
Yeah, the Union Society debating chamber.
And there's a pub over there as well. In all your years living in Cambridge, ever been in this?
No, never.
Clearly wasn't party enough for you.
No. I feel like I need to come and actually do a proper Cambridge tour. I haven't got a clue. Lived here 45 years, not a clue.
That's the tagline of our vlogs. Haven't got a clue.
I could tell you about the inside of all the pubs, mind you.
Yeah. So this next pub we're going to is apparently the Camera Pub of the Year 2024, the Champion of the Thames. Now it is located on Keene Street, which is actually was the very popular street for pubs. In fact, they used to have a challenge, the Keene Street Run. 9 pubs, I think. I'll put up below how many pubs it was. Now here today, there's maybe only 2 or 3 pubs, and most of those now are wine bars. But we'll head into the Champion of the Thames. And I think actually back up here, again, it's turned into a bit of a posh wine bar now, but it used to be called the Cambridge Arms. And you have sawdust on the floor. Not quite sure why that was. So this Champion of the Thames, now we've just seen as well, it's a Green King pub, which has the promotion in some of the participating establishments. So will we be able to get a free beer? That's the question. Probably not. I'm going in for a 4% Butco. Right, now we don't know the name of the next, We don't know the name of the next pub. But Nicola's taking us down little blind alleyways, so let's go and find out. Apparently, this pub used to be run by Nicola's granddad.
Well, I think he was a barman. I'm not sure he actually ran it.
Let's go there then.
The Clarendon Arms.
The Clarendon Arms, and this is actually a pub that quite often takes the overspill from a festival that used to happen just over to the left, Strawberry Fair. which back in the day was quite an interesting, eclectic mix of people, if you get my drift. But sadly, it no longer happens. They couldn't get the funding for it this year. But yeah, Strawberry Fair happens just over there, just over there.
No, that way.
I've got no idea where Strawberry Fair happens.
Clarendon, I knew it began with C.
Oh! And we find Simon. So this is the Clarendon Arms. What happened to the good old-fashioned ale, spit and sawdust? Now again, it might be it's a Green Keen pub. So will we get lucky? Third time lucky. Will we get third time lucky? Space on the pint, space on the bar, space for a pint. What's the word? Oh, I forgot what the term is meant to be.
Space at the bar?
Space at the bar. Well, that didn't last too long, and they only had IPA on and
Old Speckled Hen.
Old Speckled Hen. So yeah, so we've decided to skip that one. And something tells me that the whole do you have free beer if we say a certain term would have fallen on very deaf ears. Next up, we're going to the Elm Tree, which
it's very popular for its Belgian beers on draft, I think.
Yeah. So this may be the last time you see Nicola on this vlog.
No, I'm going to stick to my vodka.
Maybe. Yeah, because that's low percentage. Now we're having to wait for Simon because we've got no idea where we're going. Here he comes. This way, yeah?
No, this way.
Again, little tiny alleyways of Cambridgeshire. You know, if you're going to come to Cambridge, you've never been before, get all the kind of tourist stuff out of the way first of all. Do your punting, do your King's College, do your Evensong. But then mosey around the little backstreets. And in fact, we are making our way slowly towards the best area of town for real ale pubs, and that's Mill Road. But first up, the Elm Tree. So next up is the Free Press, apparently. Oh, which is just here. Tiny. It's a very small pub. Apparently the little tiny snug's in there, but it's busy already, so we can't get in. Right. Another one of those pubs that we have decided to come in but not partake. Really noisy, really busy. Listen to us old farts. And apparently in the snug, the reason why I couldn't get in, the barman went in afterwards and there was a dog about 4 times the size of me, and they were like, "Don't let this dog out." Simon's given us the down low on the next pub. 46, 47. Oh! Right, we are starting to lose the light somewhat, but we have finally left the city and we are now making our way towards the pubs that are off Mill Road, which historically and right even today are still, in my opinion, the best real ale pubs in Cambridge. Don't get me wrong, some of the ones we've been in have been really nice to reacquaint ourselves with, but certainly if you want a real ale night in Cambridge, then get yourself down to Mill Road and some of the pubs there. So as I said, not quite sure how much more footage we'll be able to record because we are losing the light. Look at us, we're making a plan. The plan seems to involve 3 or 4 pubs, so the plan might unravel pretty quickly. Next up, the Alexander.
Bike's back that way.
I left it up there, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll catch you up then.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're off to the Geldart, which apparently is an Irish watering hole. So God knows what we're going to find in there, folks. The ale was quite nice. Sticking to a sub 4% beer as well. A nice session beer. Right, trying not to get run over by another bike. Off to the Geldart. Oh, or a scooter. Scooter!
left.
Yeah, let's go there.
We have now finished in the Geldart, and we're off apparently to a brewery that Simon recommends.
There's a rickety old little room, and the trains would come past, and the whole of the lights would shake, and it was an experience.
Simon has brought us to quite an interesting place. Looks like someone is brewing stuff in a greenhouse. Anyway, let's go into the greenhouse, grab a beer, see what it's like. Well guys, hope you enjoyed that little bimble around Cambridge. What was your favourite pub?
Definitely the Geldart, which I wish now I'd been to before when we lived here, because I would have gone there more regularly. Really lovely.
And sticking to low percentage was a good idea as well, because no hangovers the following morning. Well, we are making a bit of a plan for an escape for travels. But having just witnessed the carnage that is Nicola's clothes packing upstairs, I'm going to make an escape this morning and just get away from that, because it is complete carnage.
To be fair, the stuff I'm packing for the next few weeks is easy, but when we come to do our rest of the year trip, I've got bags and bags of summer gear. I'm not quite sure how I fit it in. Might need to go back to Greece, I think.
But I guess, as always, that will be a story for next time. Well guys, once again, thanks a lot for following along, and until next week, when we're making a plan and hopefully escaping, take care. Back to clothes packing. Bye-bye.